Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the podcast, and welcome to your Friday Night Smackdown post-show. Starting off tonight, man, we got Tiffany Stratton coming out to the ring, grabs a microphone. Tiffany talks about losing her title. She also talks about qualifying for the Elimination Chamber. After that, Tiffany Stratton is interrupted by none other than Nia Jax and Lash Legend. Lash said that Tiffany got lucky. Tiffany also says, though, that Nia found her replacement. Lash then talks about their women's tag team title match later on the night against Rhea and Io Sky. Tiffany then mocks Nia Jax. Rhea and Io are here. Rhea then says that Nia Jax and Lash Legend are not winning the women's tag team titles. And speaking of the tag team titles, we go into our first official match of Friday Night SmackDown. It's for the women's tag team titles. It is Io Sky and Rhea Ripley defending the women's tag team titles against Nia Jax and Lash Legend. The match itself, I thought was a good match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between both teams with Nia Jax and Lash Legend keeping the pace of the match. Io Sky hits a moonsault to the outside, taking out everyone. Nia Jax hits a Samoan drop in the middle of the ring for a near fall. Rhea then hits a Hurricane Rana, followed by Rhea hitting a DDT in the middle of the ring for a near fall. Rhea then hits a powerbomb on Nia Jax in the middle of the ring. Referee, though, sounds for the bell, and the match ultimately ends. After that, an all-out brawl happens between both teams, with Io hitting a crossbody through the ropes, sending Nia Jax through a table. Some interesting stuff there between both Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Nia Jax and Lash Legend. Moving on from that, we have Carmelo Hayes, United States champion. He comes out to the ring. Hayes has a microphone in hand, says that he brought prestige and honor back to the U.S. title. Hayes then talks about WrestleMania, and that he's looking forward to WrestleMania. Hayes then says next week he's qualifying for the Elimination Chamber. But then Hayes says that he owes Dragunov a chance at the U.S. title, which gets us into our next match. It is Carmelo Hayes defending the U.S. title against Dragunov. Before the match even gets started, though, Solo Sikoa and the MFTs are here. Solo then mocks Dragunov. Dragunov says that Solo's family abandoned him last week. The MFTs attacked Hayes and Dragunov. Apollo and Cardona are here. Nakamura is here as well. Apollo, Cardona, Hayes, and Dragunov fight back the MFTs and Solo Sikoa. Nick Aldis is here. Aldis then announces that it will be a 10-man tag team matchup, which gets us into our next match. It is the MFTs and Solo Sikoa taking on Carmelo Hayes, Dragunov, Shinsuke Nakamura, Matt Cardona, and Apollo Crews. The match itself, I thought was an okay match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between both teams, with the MFTs and Solo Sikoa keeping the pace of the match. Hayes that hits springboard leg drop, followed by Cardona hitting two Rough Riders in the middle of the ring. Tala Tonga hits a choke slam on Dragunov and Hayes in the middle of the ring. Dragunov then hits an H-Bob on Mateo, followed by Hayes hitting a first 48 on Solo Sikoa. But Tama Tonga ultimately hits the finish, pins for the 3, and your winners of the match are Solo Sikoa and the MFTs. After the match, you can see Solo Sikoa and MFTs celebrating in the middle of the ring. But the lights go out, and then we see the Wyatt Six standing in the crowd. So it looks like the Wyatt Six has some unfinished business with the MFTs and Solo Sikoa. Moving on from that, we have an Elimination Chamber qualifier matchup. It is Alexa Bliss taking on Julia as well as Selena Vega. The match itself, it was a decent match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between Bliss, Julia, and Vega, with Julia keeping the pace of the match. Julia and Vega then both exchanged in the middle of the ring, with Selena hitting a code red for a near fall. Alexa then hits a DDT in the middle of the ring for a near fall as well. Julia then hits a Northern Lights bomb in the middle of the ring for a near fall. Zelina then attacks Kiana James, who was ringside during the match. This allowed Alexa Bliss to hit a Sister Abigail DDT, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match, and moving on to the Elimination Chamber to join Tiffany Stratton, is Alexa Bliss. Hats off to Alexa Bliss for getting the win in this matchup. Moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night. It's Rey Fenix taking on Trick Williams. I thought it was a good match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between Fenix and Williams, with Fenix keeping the pace of the match. Fenix then hits a handspring elbow, followed by a frog splash from Fenix for a near fall. But Trick Williams ultimately hits the finish, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match is Trick Williams. Hats off to Trick Williams for getting the win in this matchup. Moving on from that, we have a WWE Women's Championship matchup where it is Jade Cargill defending the Women's WWE Championship against Jordynne Grace. A little bit of a grudge match here between Grace and Cargill. Before the match even gets started, though, Liv Morgan comes out to the ring with Raquel and Dominic Mysterio. Dominic sets up some kind of Valentine's Day dinner with Liv ringside during this match. The match between Grace and Cargill was a decent match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between Jordan and Jade, with Jordan keeping the pace of the match. But Jade hits a backdrop on Grace, setting Grace into the railing. Grace then hits a jackhammer in the middle of the ring on Cargill for a near fall. Grace then hits a power slam on Jade in the middle of the ring for a near fall. Jade and Grace then both exchange in the middle of the ring, with Jade ultimately hitting her signature Jaded on Jordan Grace in the middle of the ring. Pins for the 3. And your winner of the match is Jade Cargill. Hats off to Jade Cargill for getting the win in this matchup. And moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night. It is the main event of Friday Night SmackDown. It is a triple threat match, Elimination Chamber qualifier match. It is Sami Zayn versus Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu. I thought it was a good match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between Zayn, Rhodes, and Fatu, with Rhodes and Fatu both exchanging in the middle of the ring. Rhodes hits a power slam in the middle of the ring, but Rhodes was trying to keep the pace of the match as well. Fatu then hits a handspring moonsault, followed by Fatu hitting a hip attack on Rhodes into the corner. Zayn and Rhodes both exchange in the middle of the ring, with Zayn hitting an exploder suplex in the middle of the ring, followed by a blue thunder bomb for a near fall. Rhodes then hits a Cody cutter in the middle of the ring, followed by Fatu throwing Rhodes out of the ring. Fatu then hits a moonsault, but Drew hits a claymore on Fatu. McIntyre then attacks Rhodes. McIntyre then hits a powerbomb on Fatu through the announce table. It looked absolutely brutal. McIntyre then hits a claymore kick on Rhodes, tries to help Zayn with the cover for a near fall. Zayn then hits a haluva kick on McIntyre, followed by Rhodes hitting a crossroads on Sami Zayn, pins for the 3. And your winner of the match, and moving on to the Elimination Chamber, is Cody Rhodes. Hats off to Cody Rhodes for getting the win in this matchup. Couple of things I want to talk about with you guys, man, when it pertains to Friday Night SmackDown before I get the hell up out of here. Number one, was SmackDown a good show? No. Seemingly the past 2 weeks for SmackDown, man, has been literally lifeless. No sense of direction, no real storylines. I mean, the only storyline we're really getting on SmackDown as of late right now is Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu, and Cody Rhodes. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Cody Rhodes because we get to this main event match, this triple threat match for the Elimination Chamber qualifier at the end of this month. And we get this matchup, and seemingly, you know, this was one of the first qualifying matches in a way that you can it's not really predictable as the other Elimination Chamber qualifier matches that we have had as of late. Seemingly because we had Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes, two guys that have seemingly tried to do everything in their power to dethrone Drew McIntyre and try to get the WWE Championship. So going into this matchup, it kind of was a coin flip, if you will, between Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, what about Sami Zayn? I'm going to be honest. Sami Zayn, I'm not going to sit here and ever say that Zayn is not going to ever become WWE Champion. I'm not going to sit here and say that because anything can happen. But I feel like the window is pretty much closed for Zayn at this point. Yeah, I do. I don't think WWE sees Sami Zayn as a top guy for this company. I just don't. And it's no fault to Sami Zayn. Now, there's other superstars on this roster that should be in the main event scene or be a world champion that probably will never ever reach that goal. Most notably LA Knight, which I'll talk about in another time. But we get to this triple threat match between Zayn, Rhodes, and Jacob Fatu. Now, initially, I thought this was going to be something where this could have been a disqualification in some kind of way. We did see McIntyre get involved in this matchup, even though it was no disqualification. But how is this going to play out going into Elimination Chamber? Are they going to feed the hot hand? Who has the hot hand right now? Is it Cody Rhodes or is it Jacob Fatu? Me personally, and this is just me as just a fan, I would rather have seen Jacob Fatu win this matchup than Cody Rhodes. Because I don't want this to go into the Elimination Chamber where we have Cody Rhodes win the Chamber, and then we get Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania for the Universal title, which seemingly seems as if that's going to be the case going into this year's WrestleMania. Which I'll talk about WrestleMania towards the end of this podcast, or this episode. To me, I feel like it's lackluster, lazy-ass booking, to be honest with you. Jacob Fatu in the Chamber would have been a force to be reckoned with, to be honest with you. And I'm hoping, Jacob Fatu does get the opportunity to be Universal Champion, because I feel as if Jacob Fatu, and I've said this from the time he came into WWE until even now, he's probably one of the best acquisitions that WWE has gotten in a very long time. We're talking about a guy that was on the independents, working for MLW, other companies outside WWE, that was really making a name for himself. They brought this guy in and fast-tracked him right to the main roster, rightfully so. I do see Jacob Fatu having a very high ceiling in WWE. I do see him being a future Universal Champion or a future Heavyweight Champion. Jacob Fatu, in my opinion, has the entire package, if you will, as far as being a pro wrestler. He has the gimmick. He has the microphone skills. His in-ring ability is uncanny, bro. I mean, I don't think there's anybody right now that can really say that they can wrestle like a Jacob Fatu. I mean, he's probably, 320, 265, 300 pounds, something like that. And the moonsault that he hits, his athletic ability that he can show in the ring, his athleticism that he has in the ring. I mean, the guy can do a 60-minute Iron Man match with no problem. And to me, he has a very high ceiling in WWE. Jacob Fatu could be that guy. And I'm not trying to discredit Sami Zayn. It's just, with Zayn, I mean, you had a chance against Gunther. You came up short. You lost now 11 to 12 times now against Drew McIntyre, where seemingly you just can't get over that hurdle with beating Drew McIntyre. And right now, taking all those other guys out of the picture, Drew McIntyre right now is the hot hand. And it was a great decision on WWE's part to make him Universal Champion that kind of shakes shit up, especially on Smackdown, and have Cody Rhodes chase Drew McIntyre for the Universal title. So then we get this matchup at the main event between Rhodes, Zayn, and Jacob Fatu, where we have Cody Rhodes ultimately getting the win with the helps, in a way, from Drew McIntyre. And Rhodes is successful, and he's moving on to the Elimination Chamber. But I'm going to be honest, man. I can really give a rat's ass about seeing Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. And the reason why that is because, bro, what else more can you guys do, meaning Rhodes and McIntyre, to really intensify this story between Rhodes and McIntyre that we already haven't gotten already with the 3 Stages of Hell match? I mean, that should have been the end cap, if you will, between this rivalry here between Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. It's time to move on. It's time to move on to greater pastures at this point, but we're running it back with Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. Now, we haven't got, obviously, to the Elimination Chamber yet, but you can kind of see the writing on the wall at this point. With the current landscape in the Elimination Chamber, Cody Rhodes has to be, considered one of the top guys to win the Elimination Chamber this year. And have him win, and then obviously he's going to challenge Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania for the Universal title. It's just, how are we getting there? And is it lackluster? Is it lazy booking? Do people genuinely give a shit to see Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre once again in the middle of the ring? Me personally, I can honestly give a rat's ass, to be honest with you. The other thing I want to talk about as well, we have a couple elimination qualifying matches besides, obviously, the main event. We have a women's Elimination Chamber qualifier matchup with Alexa Bliss, Julia, and Zelina Vega. Now, number one, I wasn't pissed off with the outcome of this match. I think Alexa Bliss should be in Elimination Chamber. She obviously has a history being in the Elimination Chamber, so I'm all for that. What I will say, though, and I've been saying this now for the past couple weeks, bro, there was a spot in this matchup with Zelina where she was trying to hit a code red. And I watched the match back, and she almost could have legitimately injured Julia in that code red. I mean, Julia could have broke her neck in that match, just from that code red. Zelina Vega, Vega even came out to Aleister Black's music, and she got no ovation from the crowd, no crowd pop, nothing. I think a lot of people, myself included, are done with the whole Zelina Vega experiment. It doesn't work out, bro. I feel like with Zelina, I feel like it's kind of run her course in WWE. I'm not sitting here saying that she couldn't work on the independents, she couldn't work somewhere else. I just feel like Zelina Vega wrestling in WWE, I think a lot of people legitimately just don't give a shit about Zelina Vega. I mean, I remember when she came out to the Rumble, and she literally came out to the Rumble in crickets. No one gave a damn about Zelina Vega. I think Vega, if she decides to stay in WWE and they decide to still have Zelina Vega in WWE, she needs to just be in a manager role or somewhere attached to Aleister Black. I really give a rat's ass about seeing her in the ring, bro. And that's just being honest. I think Vega being an in-ring competitor, I think it's run its course, bro. As far as it being in WWE, yeah. She's better fit as a manager role, bro. And It's no real fault to Selena. I mean, I think Selena did a great job being a manager. I mean, when she was managing Andrade, when Andrade first came into the main roster from NXT, and she was working with Andrade, it just fit perfectly. It fit like a glove, bro. And I feel like she's better suited to be a manager than a professional wrestler in the ring. I don't think she needs to be in the ring, bro. I just don't. I don't think anybody legitimately gives a shit about Selena Vega wrestling in the middle of the ring. Other things I want to talk about, too. We also had Rey Fenix and Trick Williams. One-on-one on SmackDown. I'm going to be honest, man. You know, first of all, I'm going to get this out. Trick Williams is going to be a top guy for SmackDown. The entrance music, the crowd is all for Trick when he comes out to the ring. He's a really good wrestler. He's great on the microphone, bro. He's really good on the microphone. Trick Williams has a lot of potential on Friday Night SmackDown, to be honest with you. But on the other side of that coin, we have Rey Fenix. And Fenix, you know, ever since he came into WWE, you know, obviously there were certain people that were excited. They were happy that Rey Fenix got out of AEW's hell that he was going through, and they were happy to see Rey Fenix get the opportunity to wrestle somewhere else. I'm going to be honest, man. And this might be a hot take for a lot of people to take, but I got to say it, man. Rey Fenix, number one, has a very low ceiling in WWE. I just don't see WWE utilizing Rey Fenix to his full potential. I just don't. I think Fenix, I mean, Christ, man, Fenix, you know, ever since he's been with WWE, he's had more losses than wins. And I don't know why the hell they're stalling out with reuniting the Lucha Bros, Penta and Fenix, into the tag team division, because not for nothing, Monday Night Raw needs it. If you want to move Phoenix over to Raw, by all means, go ahead. Because Raw needs tag teams. So does SmackDown, but Raw needs tag teams. And honestly, Penta's really not doing shit. Phoenix damn sure ain't doing shit. Why not, you know, entertain the idea of reuniting the Lucha Bros and have them go after the World Tag Team titles? Have matches with the Usos or the Creeds or something, bro. Because right now, it's not benefiting Rey Fenix at all. And, you know, I've said this about, and I'm going to say this about some other AEW superstars that once wrestled for AEW and then went back over to WWE or currently wrestling for WWE. I don't think it's panning out for a lot of those superstars, bro. I mean, Rey Fenix, most notably. Rusev really ain't doing shit. Aleister Black's really not doing a whole hell of a lot. I know they're teasing this kind of storyline here between Orton and Aleister Black. I honestly give a rat's ass about that. Yeah, Rusev, Aleister Black, Rey Fenix. I mean, these guys really ain't doing shit. I mean, hell, bro, you got Powerhouse Hobbs, and I heard about this on SmackDown, and you had Powerhouse Hobbs show up on SmackDown, but then you had this guy compete in a dark match and not even have him a part of the live showing of SmackDown. What the fuck is that about? You're not going to showcase this dude on SmackDown? That everybody can see what he can do on SmackDown? No, you're going to have him in a dark match on SmackDown before SmackDown goes on the air. Why? That's my biggest question coming out of that shit. So again, a lot of these talents that go over from AEW over to WWE, sometimes the shit doesn't pan out, bro. Rey Fenix right now, it's not panning out. Rusev, not panning out. I mean, we haven't seen Rusev in quite some time, bro. I mean, what since the Rumble. But before that, when was the last time we've seen Rusev? He's not in a predominant storyline. Neither is Aleister Black. Neither is Rey Fenix. What are these guys doing? Does WWE not see a future with these certain individuals that came over from AEW into WWE on the main roster? Like, what is actually legitimately going on with these superstars? Are we not utilizing these superstars correctly? Do we not see a vision for guys like Rey Fenix or Powerhouse Hobbs or Aleister Black or Rusev and so on and so forth? So, like, where's the storyline here for these guys? So, I'll say, I think Rey Fenix, they need to entertain the idea of reuniting the Lucha Bros, because right now it's not benefiting Rey Fenix at all. At all. And they need to find a way to somehow utilize him correctly, bro. I mean, Rey Fenix has all the talent in the world. All the talent in the world. But he's had more losses than wins, bro. And all you're doing right now is having matches with him and Trick Williams. We cannot get him in a predominant storyline. You know what I mean? Like, you have no vision for these dudes, man. And it's just like, what the fuck are we doing here? And then obviously the other thing I want to talk about too quickly is the Jade Cargill and Jordan Grace situation. Look, I'm happy that Jade Cargill decided to show up to work and actually do her goddamn job and defend that title. But again, I got to put Jordynne Grace in that same category as a Rey Fénix and Aleister Black. Even though she didn't wrestle for AEW and went over to WWE, they're not doing shit with Jordynne Grace, bro. Nothing. Jordynne Grace honestly should have stayed back in NXT or went back to TNA. They're not doing shit with Jordynne Grace, bro. And now that she had lost to Jade Cargill, what's next for Jordynne Grace at this moment? Were you going to fast track her into a rematch with Jade Cargill for the women's title? Come on, bro. They have no vision for Jordynne Grace. They just don't. And Jade, I mean, bro, I don't know what they're doing with Jade at this point. I know, we're going into WrestleMania. I don't know who they're lining up for Jade at WrestleMania, or if Jade's even going to have a match at fucking WrestleMania. I know a lot of people, myself included, were where's Bianca Belair? There was news that came out with Bianca. I guess that hand injury is very bad because now she's going to have to require to get hand surgery for her hand. So, again, she's going to be out for another 6 to 8 months. You know what I mean? Like, she's probably not going to be a part of WrestleMania this year, which is in about 2 months from now, depending on how fast that hand heals. So, again, where do we leave? Where's this leave Jade? You know what I mean? What's next for Jade Cargill? Who is she going to defend that belt next with? Or is she going to stall out till we get to WrestleMania? I mean, this was her first title defense in almost 100 days. Or over 100 days. Come on, bro. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Seriously. And I'm going to say this, too, bro. SmackDown going to 3 hours was an absolute mistake. Does not need to be 3 hours long, bro. It just doesn't. You can hire all the talent in the world that you want to put on SmackDown, bro, but you're not doing shit with them. You're not. You're not doing shit. I mean, honestly, I think a lot of people are also done with the whole Solo Sikoa MFTs and the Wyatt Six shit. No one cares anymore, bro. Nobody cares. Uncle Howdy beats the shit out of Solo, get the goddamn lantern back, and then move on. But then when you do that, what's next for the Wyatt Six? That's what I'm saying, man. Like, there's no life on SmackDown. It's lifeless. There's no storyline. There's no direction on where we're going here. That's why I pitched the idea of having Obafemi a part of SmackDown, because at the end of the day, they need him. Raw does not need Obafemi. SmackDown needs Obafemi. They need a top guy. If you want to have Obafemi as a heel, by all means. You want to have him as a babyface, by all means. But you need someone like Obafemi on SmackDown to get people excited. For example, we saw Obafemi on SmackDown on Friday. He was in a backstage segment with Nick Aldis when Aldis was going to hand him a SmackDown contract, but he was interrupted by Kit Wilson. And Wilson was mocking Obafemi, which ultimately leads into a match between Kit Wilson and Obafemi taking place next week. Obafemi needs to be a part of SmackDown, bro. There's no reason why the guy needs to go on Raw. No reason at all. Because Raw, you got the likes of Gunther, you got CM Punk, you got Roman Reigns. There's no need for, you got LA Knight. Like, there's no need for Obafemi to be on Raw. You're just overloading Raw for no apparent reason when Raw is only 2.5 hours and SmackDown's 3 hours. Put Obafemi on SmackDown. Feed the hot hand, bro. I mean, people were actually legitimately pissed off that we saw Obafemi on SmackDown, but we did not see him compete on SmackDown this past Friday. Put him on SmackDown, bro. He doesn't need to go to Raw. He does not need to go to Monday Night Raw. Put him on SmackDown. SmackDown just feels lifeless, man. For the past 2 weeks, SmackDown has been absolutely fucking brutal. Absolutely brutal. I'm almost mind-numbing at times, bro. Because there's no direction. There's no storyline. It's just lackadaisical booking, man. Like, no one legitimately gives a rat's ass. Nobody cares. Did anybody really legitimately care about Alexa Bliss, Julia, and Zelina Vega? No. Zelina Vega needs to stay in a manager role. Nobody needs to see her compete in the ring, bro. Nobody cares, man. I'm sorry, but nobody legitimately cares. She came out to crickets at the Rumble. She came out to crickets on SmackDown when she came out with her husband's theme music, Aleister Black. And still, no one gave a shit about Zelina Vega. She came out to crickets. Nobody cares. Rey Fénix. If you're not going to do nothing with him, then at least put him with Penta and have the Lucha Bros. Because right now, Penta's best thing that he's going to be doing is sitting and catering at this point. The guy's had more losses than he's had wins. Where's Rusev? Where is he at? You know what I mean? What are you doing with these guys, man? Nothing. And I'm going to be honest, too, and I didn't forget to mention this. WrestleMania. I think WrestleMania this year is going to be a dumpster fire besides CM Punk and Roman Reigns. I'm going to be honest. I think they are spinning their goddamn wheels this year. for WrestleMania, bro. WrestleMania this year is going to be a joke, to be honest with you. Besides Roman and Punk, I think this year's WrestleMania is just going to fall flat on its ass, man. They have no sense of direction of what the hell they're going to do. It's going to feel lackluster. I got this feeling that, and I'm going to be honest here, that WrestleMania this year is going to feel like a glorified Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. The way it's starting to ship up and shape out, or a glorified Saturday Night's Main Event. To be honest. I just got that feeling, bro, because there's already been news coming out about WrestleMania. People are pissed off with the ticket prices. Now the ticket prices now are 25% off because they can't sell the tickets. There's no real sense of direction going into WrestleMania so far, even though we got Elimination Chamber coming up. It's just lackadaisical booking and just laziness, man. They should have came out the gate red hot after the Royal Rumble. And it's fallen flat, bro. They're not doing shit. You know, too many injuries. We got Braun Breaker out, so that match between Breaker and Seth Rollins is most likely not going to happen now. You know, this WrestleMania this year could have been very, very good. You could have had Punk and Reigns. You could have had Rollins and Breaker. You could have had Lesnar, Obafemi. Like, you could have stacked the deck with this year's WrestleMania. And this year, I don't think it's going to happen, bro. I mean, there's already rumors and speculations, which I heard the other day, that WWE is legitimately considering a WrestleMania match between Brock Lesnar and LA Knight. I mean, do you guys do not even like this LA Knight dude? Because, bro, he's going to go in there and get mollywopped, man. Brock Lesnar's going to beat the dog shit out of LA Knight at WrestleMania. So, either there's some kind of backstage situation here between LA Knight and the powers that be backstage that just seemingly just do not like this dude at all. At all. And honestly, I don't know why we're even remotely considering the fact of having LA Knight versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. What, because LA Knight ultimately helped Lesnar get eliminated in the match at the Rumble? Come on, bro. Lazy-ass booking. You obviously have LA Knight beefing with Division. You can't pick somebody from the Division to compete against LA Knight at WrestleMania? Austin Theory. You can have Bronson Reed. Logan Paul. You know what I mean? Brock Lesnar, bro, he's gonna get squashed in that match. Lesnar's gonna beat the dog shit out of LA Knight at WrestleMania. I don't even know why WWE's even considering that idea. It's a dumbass idea. So again, when it pertains to WrestleMania, bro, it ain't looking good, man. It's not looking good, really. And I don't know, bro. I'm excited for the Chamber to see how this plays out. I know we got Punk and Finn Balor for the heavyweight title. We got AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the women's Intercontinental title. We also have the men's and women's Elimination Chamber matches. It should be a decent card, bro. But again, it's the direction that we're going. Are we going to get to the Elimination Chamber and then see Cody Rhodes win in the Chamber just to have him face off against McIntyre? Come on, man. What else more can these two guys do than what they already just did with 3 Stages of Hell, man? Who's legitimately going to give a shit about another match when we had 3 Stages of Hell for the Universal title? How can you go beyond that to make it even better and more intriguing than just having a regular singles match between Rhodes and McIntyre for the Universal title at WrestleMania? Come on, man. You can miss me with that shit. I'm sorry. It's just lazy, bro. It's just absolutely lifeless, man. SmackDown is absolutely boring. It's just boring, man. It is, bro. From across the board, it's just boring. Nobody cares. It's just lackadaisical booking, laziness, no sense of direction, especially going into this year's WrestleMania, which hopefully after Elimination Chamber we get something. I mean, not to be, cliche, bro, but Elimination Chamber, they need to hit a grand slam. I'm going to be honest, man. They need to have something coming out the gate at Elimination Chamber to get a little bit of spark of intrigue for us going into this year's WrestleMania. Because if not, bro, WrestleMania, besides Punk and Reigns, it's just not looking that good. But with that being said, though, this is my review of Friday Night SmackDown. I hope you guys are out there staying safe. Be careful, and remember, stay classic. Peace.